Director Vosornu for their thoughtful insights and a very clear-cut position. Today I speak before you not only as a representative of Ukraine, a victim of Russia's war of annihilation. Today I stand as a citizen, as a son whose family's life back home in Kyiv, like the lives of millions of other Ukrainian families, hangs by a thin thread, never knowing if Russia's next shelling will cut it. For over 3 years, my mother-in-law, a gentle and resilient woman, has endured countless nights punctured by the hail of drones and the thunder of Russian missiles, cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, Iranian Shahed drone, which turned into winged nightmares. Night after night, the sky above Kyiv and many other peaceful cities has turned into a deadly hunting ground. But especially during the last months, my mom, like countless other Ukrainians, has been spending every single night, together with my little niece, in a bathroom. Because the way to the closest bomb shelter in the metro station is far more perilous than hiding at home. Because it is the only place that might offer a fragile shield against death from above, against the shards of glass that shatter from every window when explosions shake my home city. But just days ago, on the 17th of June, the darkness was ripped apart yet again, this time on an unprecedented scale, marking perhaps the most dreadful night of this barbaric war. A single Russian X-101 cruise missile struck deep into a residential building as innocent families lay asleep in the gentle embrace of dreams. 23 souls, mothers, fathers, children, were ripped from life in the blink of an eye. A whole section of this apartment block was obliterated, literally. In the span of a single heartbeat, their pillows became their burial shroud. That every night, seconds after this deadly strike, my mom called me. She lives only a whisker away from the house in the Solominsky district that was hit. Her voice, fragile and quivering, bridged the void between us. And she said, "The walls are trembling, the windows are rattling. I'm praying, my son. I do not know if I will ever see your face again." That horrible night, my mother and our family were spared by nothing by a stroke of luck in a moment of this endless terror. Yet the shadow of that danger still looms over all us, a cruel reminder that the sword of Damocles is suspended above our heads, knowing it might fall at any time. Can you, distinguished members of this council, can you imagine this? Can you imagine your own mother whispering what could be her last prayer over the phone as the ceiling about her threatens to become her grave? This is not a war fought in trenches. This Russian war is waged in bedrooms. This Russian war is a war in kitchens, war in playgrounds, war in hospitals, in schools. This is pure terror that never sleeps, terror that steals tomorrow before the dawn can break. This madness has to stop. And yet, on the very same day, like today, last Monday, when 440 murderous drones and 32 ballistic and cruise missiles with cluster ammunition struck Kyiv, killing in total 28 innocent people in their sleep and leaving over 140 wounded, our Russian colleague shamelessly declared, like he did today, with a straight face, that Russia does not target civilians. If it wasn't Russia shelling our homes, then who else could it be? Aliens from the outer space, or perhaps Darth Vader and his Death Star? Maybe next time they'll blame Martians, the dark side of the Force, or the Tooth Fairy, dropping bombs instead of coins. But we all know the bitter truth. We know it. These attacks come from a single source, from a very single source. And that is Putin's decision to terrorize civilians in Ukraine simply because his army cannot win and will not win on the battlefield. Distinguished members of this Council, I speak here today not to exchange accusations, not to hurl arrows back and forth, and not to dance to the tune our Russian counterparts keep playing shamelessly again in this chamber. I'm here to remind us of the responsibility this Council holds to protect peace and not merely rehearse endless arguments. I believe that even the smallest steps are better than yet another round of blame games that we have seen so often here in this chamber. Our main goal is simple. It is very simple: to stop this horrible and bloody war. And this Council must never lose sight of that. One of the greatest dangers that we face is the slow poison of getting accustomed